It is a momentous occasion, madam. Your first victory in battle. I'm no expert on personal combat, but I would say, based on the fact that you're not dead, you acquitted yourself rather well. It's hard to believe that just a few days ago I was rousing you from a comfortable bed. It would seem that you have completed 2 of the tasks that Sabine set for you. If you return to Brightwall, you will find Sir Walter has some news on how to fulfill the last requirement. Sir Walter is still waiting for you in the Brightwall Tavern. He seems to have become rather attached to the place.
Do you have anything I can buy off you?
I sell the finest items in Brightwall.
Chicken feather in my beer. Is that normal?
Ah, yes, the special ingredient.
Ah, here she is. We were just talking about you.
Indeed. We have made a toast to your stupendous feat in ridding Miss Peak of Saker and his men. They have been a source of great distress for some time.
Nobody will be more pleased than Sabine. His dwellers might find some peace now.
Of course, nobody has suffered more than they.
I've been telling Samuel here about the terrible situation they're in. He thinks he may be able to help.
Yes, well, perhaps. I mean, of course. The thing is, as I was just explaining to Sir Walter, Brightwall has no overabundance of resources itself. The King's levies are rather steep, and we face shortages more often than is comfortable.
But
Were you to improve things around Brightwall, the people would be most grateful. And when people are grateful, they're also charitable. I'm sure they would find it in their hearts to send aid to those poor people.
there you have it. The way I see it, you will need all the followers you can get if you're going to lead a successful rebellion. What better time to start?
I heartily agree with Sir Walter. Pardon me for overhearing. As it happens, I've learned of a promising method for amassing followers. If you'll return to the sanctuary at your earliest convenience, I can show you what I mean. Now, the book says there is an additional rather amazing capability about the sanctuary's map table. It can help you find people who are in need of a hero. An excellent way to gain followers is by helping villagers in need. Take a closer look at Brightwall and I will explain more. You can now see the villagers in need. You can also see how many followers you must amass to impress Samuel and the people of Brightwall. Select a villager to help. By doing so, you will gain the respect and loyalty of others in the region.
This is terrible. Somehow the gate got open, and all of my chickens have escaped. I don't know how they did it, those chickens, and maybe I never will. Chickens are extraordinarily clever. Will you find the buggers for me? Right, you'll need this. Contrary to what most people think, chickens are very, very crafty. They won't fall for any of that. Come here, chickie, chickie, I've got some lovely treats for you. Oh no, too smart. You have to defeat them psychologically. Now, they won't remain one concentrated force. They'll have redeployed into groups of 3 or so to maximize their tactical advantage. When you find one of these squads, flap your wings and such, and they should follow you back here. But don't let them try to negotiate with you. You do not want those little buggers inside your head, believe me.
I have no doubt that the people of Brightwall will end up following you. Merely show them what you are capable of, and they cannot fail to become your supporters. You've a new suit in your wardrobe, a new feathery suit. You're dressed as a chicken. What are you planning to do dressed as a chicken? Some things never go out of fashion. Well, I think that... Any other business to attend to?
You're doing great. We can't afford any mistakes.
This oath I swear for the great and ancient powers. I reached the entrance to the dungeon.
Terrific. We're gaining the initiative. Go on. There's still more out there.
Strongest hero in the world.
This is going to
Sail
be like
now
when
on.
that hob puked on me.
whether to dual wield.
We had a couple of rough patches, but at the moment we're doing okay.
That's all of them. At last, the town can rest easy.
Oh, Bernard, you've got to lock them up again. This isn't right. They deserve to be free.
You're always on about the chickens and their freedom. You know what I think? I think it was you let 'em out.
You're right. I admit it. I couldn't live with myself any longer being complicit in this chicken oppression.
But they might have destroyed the entire town, possibly the world.
They might have gone off to live peacefully on their own. They might have created great works of art or literature. We don't know. And we have no right to take away their fundamental liberties based on our own prejudices.
Well, now it's clear taking away their liberties isn't enough. I have to assume you'll try to facilitate another escape. And that means the only choice is to kill them all.
Oh, no, Bernard! No, don't! All right, keep them locked up. At least so we can talk about this.
You infiltrated the chickens. You lived among them. You know them better than anyone. What's to be done? It's a simple matter of kill or be killed.
No, Bernard, they're not like that.
Right. It's like I've said all along. We have to kill them all.
You bastard! You murderer!
Look, you're either with me or you're one of them. Which is it?
This is all just... I don't know if I can go on living with you, Bernard.
No, let's not get hysterical.
I think it's time for us.
Welcome to the sanctuary. Dare I say, you're not likely to get much
Foul, vile fiend! You uncouth wretch! It is... You, dear lady, you who live in such a tumultuous epoch, do you not thirst for the drama and emotion of a properly structured tragic play?
Of course you don't. You want to escape your troubles. You want to be made merry. You want to be amused.
It is no good. We shall never agree.
Ah, if only we could get our hands on Morley's lost play. It would solve all our problems.
Yes, it is said to bring together the opposites of tragedy and comedy in an exquisite marriage of forms.
But perhaps you can find it.
Yes, we beg you. The theatre, the muses, the very heart and soul of this town will thank you. Splendid, splendid! You should know we did commission an elderly detective to search the library for clues as to the play's whereabouts, but he never returned.
The man's name is Ransom Locke, and he's rather closer to senility than one would like, truth be told.
If you come across this gentleman, he may be able to aid you. I believe he is looking for the collected works of the playwright Philip Morley, as we speak.
One can only hope they were not burned when the king closed down the academy and its library.
back now, mortal one. Stay away from this accursed place. Only death and insanity await you. Thou seekest forbidden knowledge, but shall find naught but damnation. Don't pick it up! No! Really, I'm serious. You lot just can't leave well enough alone, can you? Bloody literary tourists, bane of my afterlife. Listen, you're not getting my lost plate, you hear? It's rubbish. Worse than rubbish. I mean, what was I thinking mixing tragedy and comedy? I must have been off my rocker.
It would seem, my dear madam, you have been apprehended by the ghost of Philip Morley. That makes us both his captives. I am Ransom Locke. If the name seems familiar, it is because I was once a detective of some renown. And yet, here I am, ready to live out the rest of my days, trapped in a book. As far as I can deduce, we are currently in a scene from one of Morley's greatest romantic plays, the near tragedy of Oliver and Ethel. I believe if we are to escape, we must act out the scene. But performing is not one of my talents. If I am correct, putting on this costume should set things in motion.
Oh, Ethel, my love, my life, my son. If thou wouldst but give me one sign, one gesture that would speak of your affections, then might I think this grey existence worth living.
Ah, yes, a classic moment in the play. You are Ethel, the beautiful young daughter of a dung merchant. Show Oliver that you love him, and we may be able to leave this scene.
Top dead?
Oh, woe! What cruel darts doth strike my intemperate soul! If this rejection be true, then I shall reject the world itself. This deadly brew shall make of me a feast for the worms, and it shall touch my lips if you do not admit your undying love. Please!
His insistence doesn't surprise me. As it was written, Ethel did indeed profess her love, and the two lived happily ever after.
Shove it, fatty.
Stop! Thou hast driven a dagger into my breast and ended all hope of happiness. Thusly, I must end my life. Hark! A shadow approaches. Take me! And so I die.
Well, it's an unorthodox reading of the text, but one cannot argue with the results.
I see you are gifted with remarkable literary cunning, but can you really comprehend the depths of my work? That we shall see.
Ah, yes. This is undoubtedly a scene from one of Morley's earlier, funnier plays, Bloodbath at the Royal Court. And this must be your costume. The role of the fool is one filled with tragic depth. It will require a masterful performance.
What fresh insolence is this? Out of my throne, you impertinent buffoon! Stand before your king, and do your jester's duty. 'Tis a troublesome time for this court, and my crown grows heavy. So make me laugh, or I shall have your head.
You look so cute in that crown.
Why, Jester, I had no idea you felt that way about me. Or is this another one of your japes?
Ah! Oh!
So it's true! You do love me! You have no idea how difficult it's been watching you strut about in those magnificent feathers, how much I've wanted you. Then it is settled. Tomorrow we shall wed, and let anyone who frowns upon our union have his head cut off.
Well, it's certainly a radical interpretation of the text, but effective nonetheless.
You handle my royal dramas as well as you handle my romances. But will your versatility extend to the more subtle domains of theatre, I wonder?
Oh dear. Unless I'm mistaken, this is a scene from Morley's notoriously violent historical epic, Titus the Mutilator, Part 2. Which would mean this is the gladiatorial arena from Act 5, where Titus is finally slaughtered by savage warriors seeking revenge. A favorite scene of mine as a child, I must admit. And here is Titus's famous costume. I had some pajamas that looked just like it. Put it on and you will take on the greatest role of your life.
Titus! Thy pox-membered body shall pay for thy monstrous villainy. My son lies dead because of you. Now shall revenge be mine, cold as your corpse and all the more flavoursome for it.
Do try to make your demise convincing.
Still a menace with that gun. You backed the book of goods!
That looked like it hurt.
More of my kin lie slain, and yet you live. You have breathed your last sulphur-scented breath, Titus. Hey, you're broke, aren't you? How are we gonna make any money out of it? my vengeance denied, my world undone. I cannot stand to live 1 second more.
A tremendous performance. That's just the ending I wanted to see when I was a young boy attending the theatre every weekend. I wonder what scene will follow now.
Oh, what scene could possibly follow such a masterful rendition of my work? And the way you improvised some of those roles, you brought new life to my words. I stand in awe. You have earned the prize no mortal has ever been honored with before. My missing play. I entrust it to you, for I know that you will do it justice. I call it the Ham Sandwich. A metaphorical title, of course.
Ah, you have retrieved our aged investigator. Happy day! Have you, perchance, found...
This is no time for perchances, Lambert. The play. Do you have it? We're saved, Lambert.
Oh, the joy in my bosom knows no bounds! Thank you 1,000,000 times! Thank you!
His head bosom. It's already working. Comedy and tragedy will at last join hands.
Bear witness to the tragic futility that is man. Oh, how it doth sear my senses to see paradise and yet to be barred.
That reminds me of a great joke. A guard, a monk, and a chicken walk into a bar. Unfortunately, the bartender had a mild heart attack that morning, so none of them get served.
And yet what purpose doth heartache serve when the infinite dark blanket that is death falls softly upon our still beating corpse?
That reminds me of another one. A corpse walks into a bar and says, "Can I have a lemonade?" "Certainly," replies the bartender. "I've never seen a stiff drink."
And so endeth our happy, sad play, which reminds us we are made of nothing but clay. There's time only for our fool to say...
Great big giant bosoms!
What the hell was that?
Biggest load of old tosh I ever saw. It didn't even make sense.
Worst play ever.
Well done. You have gathered quite an impressive following in Brightwall. This should be more than enough to convince this little hamlet to send aid to the dwellers. I believe Samuel awaits you at the town gates to express that very
I'm beginning to
sentiment.
understand why Philip Morley never published this particular piece of work.